Good afternoon, everyone. So, welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. My name is Naveen, and today we are going to discuss QA and DI of XAT 2023. Um, at most places, people have discussed about QA. DI is something that not everyone has discussed. So, Arav, you are correct. We'll be bringing VRC DM very soon, most probably max by tomorrow. And Richard, uh, for erroneous question, you can challenge it, okay? And there were actually a lot of questions that had errors, okay? Questions wherein you cannot figure out the answer, or the answer was not in any of the options, okay? But we'll see which could be the best, answer or best possible option for such questions. Okay, so let's begin. So this is the question where it's about Raju and Sarita. They play a number game. First, each one of them chooses a positive integer independently. Separately, they both multiply their chosen integers by 2 and then subtract 20 from their resultant numbers. Now, each one of them has a new number. Then they divide their respective new numbers by 5. Finally, they added their results and found that the sum is 16. What can be the maximum possible difference between the positive integers chosen by Raju and Sarita? So, suppose if Raju chooses R and hold on. So, suppose if 1 second. Okay, so the best color I have is this one. So if suppose Raju chooses R and Sarita chooses S, okay, then what they do is they multiply them by 2. So they become 2R and 2S. And then they subtract 20 from there. So it becomes 2R minus 20 and 2S minus 20. Now, they divide the respective new numbers by 5. So they divide them by 5. And then they added their results. And this sum turns out to be 16. So if we solve this, we are going to have 2R plus 2S is going to be 16 into 5, which is 80. 80 plus 20 plus 20, which is 120. So this will give us R plus S is equal to 60. Now, since they choose positive integer, so the maximum difference that you are going to have will be when R and S are as far as possible. So for that, let's say R chose 1, the smallest positive integer, says that S will turn out to be 59. So the maximum possible difference is going to be 58. Okay, next, Amit has forgotten his 4-digit locker key. So it's a 4-digit locker key. He remembers that all the digits are positive integers. So we cannot take 0, it should be at least 1, and are different from each other, so they're distinct. Moreover, the 4th digit is the smallest and the maximum value of the first digit is 3. So this digit is the smallest one. And here the maximum allowed digit is 1, 2, or 3. Okay. Also, he recalls that if we divide the second digit by the third digit, excuse me, let's say if this is the second digit, this is the first digit, this is the third digit. So if he divides the second digit by the third digit, he gets the first digit. Or from here, we can say that second digit is third digit into first digit. So we can erase that S component so that we have lesser variables to take care of. So this is T into F, right? Okay. How many different combinations does Amit have to try for unlocking the locker? Well, actually, अगर उसको इतना याद था तो locker का number याद करने में क्या दिक्कत है? Now, if I take the first digit as 1, it will not make sense because if first digit is 1, the 4th digit, that means the units place, has to be the smallest one. You cannot have less than 1 allowed in this scenario. So 1 penny काम करेगा. If the first digit is 2, then the smallest digit you can have is 1, right? So I'll write it below. So if this is 2, this is 1. Then the third digit can't be 1 or 2. The next is possibility is 3, such that 2 into 3 is 6. First scenario. Next is if this is 2, this is 1. Next possible value for the third digit could be 4, such that 2 into 4 is 8. Now, if I take the third digit as 5, I'll have a 10, which is not a digit. So 2 pe we get 2 scenarios. Suppose this is 3. then we can have 1 or 2 here. Okay, so let's start with 1. If this is 1, then I cannot take 1 or 3 as the third digit. The minimum I can take is 2, so that this is 6, right? Or let me just see if it's visible. No, it's not visible here. So I will write it above. So we can have 3, 6, 2, and 1. Okay. Next is if I take 1 and 3, I can't take 3 here. If I take 4, 3 into 4 will be more than 10. So 4 is not allowed. So we are done with 3 and 1 as the first and the fourth digit. The next is if I take this as 2, this as 3, then the digit that I am supposed to take as the third digit should be at least 4, right? Because you can't take 1. That is reserved for this smallest digit at the units place. If I take 4, it turns out to be 12, which is not a digit. So we will not get any scenario in this case. So overall, there are 3 such combinations that Amit's locker can have. Okay. Next is ABC is a triangle with BC is equal to 5. D is the foot of the perpendicular from A on BC. E is the point on CD such that B is equal to 3. The value of AB square minus AE square plus 6CD is how much? Okay. Since it says it's a triangle and they have not mentioned the triangle, so let's do one thing. Let's take an equilateral triangle, right? Such that each side is 5. Nothing is mentioned. We can assume anything, right? So this is BC and this one is A. D is the foot of perpendicular from A on BC, right? So what is the height of an equilateral triangle? So this is √3/2 into 5. Okay. E is a point on CD. So this is D. Says that B is equal to 3. So this is 2.5 and the other side is also 2.5. BD and DC, each one is 2.5. But it says B is 3. So that means if I take this as A and this is supposed to be 2.5. So this is going to be 2. This distance is going to be half. This distance is going to be 2.5, 2.5, right? Such that it makes sense. BE is 2.5, that is 3. And CD is also 2.5, BD is also 2.5. Now we need to find out AB square. Now AB is 5, right? So I will take 5 square. AE, so we need to calculate this particular length. So from the triangle ADE, which is a right angle triangle, can we say that AE square is nothing but AD square plus DE square? Now AD is √3/2 times of 5, so we need to do the square of that. And DE is just half, so we need to take the square of that. So the first one is going to be 3/4 of 25 plus 1/4, right? And CD is 2.5. So this is 2.5. Okay. So if you solve this, this is 75 plus 1, 76 upon 4. Now 76 upon 4 is nothing but 19, right? So we have 19 here. We have 6 into 2.5, which will result in 15 here. And then we have 5 square, which is 25 here. So 25 minus 19 plus 15 is minus 4. 25 minus 4 is going to be 21. So echo is our answer. So far, none of the questions are wrong. So every question so far makes sense. Okay. Next one is the problem below consists of a question and 2 statements numbered 1 and 2. You have to decide whether the data provided in the statements are sufficient to answer the question. Rahim, so this is data sufficiency, right? Rahim is riding upstream on a boat from point A to B at a constant speed. The distance from A to B is 30 kilometers. So this is A and this is B. And this distance is given as 30 kilometers. 1 minute after Rahim leaves from point A. So after 1 minute, Rahim is, let's say, over here. So this is 1 minute duration, post 1 minute. A speedboat starts from point A. So this is, let's say this speedboat, let's call this as S. It starts from here. We don't know the direction of the current, right? Acha, Rahim is riding upstream. So we know the direction of the current is from B to A. Okay, upstream likha hua. Okay, if it crosses Rahim's boat after 4 minutes. So if I talk about after 4 minutes, let's say Rahim is over here and speedboat is also over here. And this happened after 4 minutes. After 4 minutes means initially after 1 minute speedboat started, and then it says after 4 minutes. It doesn't say 4 minutes from the beginning. So that means that's from the beginning, it's 5 minutes, right? Okay. If the speed of the speedboat is constant from A to B, what is Rahim's speed in still water? Okay. Now, if you look at this scenario, okay, so what happens when you have two or more than two bodies on this same system, where the system is also moving, whether it is moving in the same direction as yours, in the opposite, perpendicular to you. In that case, we ignore the system. So we can completely ignore the speed of the current, right? Okay. So can we say that if you look at the distance covered by Rahim and this speedboat, the distance is same? If the distance is same, so we know that speed is inversely proportional to time taken by that body. So if I talk about speed of Rahim and speed of the speedboat, that will be inversely proportional to their time taken. So speedboat took how much time to reach here, right? So speedboat took 4 minutes. And how much time did Rahim take? Rahim took 5 minutes. From the question, we know that the ratio of their speeds is 4:5. Now, let's see what else is given to us. First statement says the speed of the speedboat in still water is 30. So if we put 30 over here, we will get the speed of Rahim, right? So Rahim ka speed pata chal jayega. So from first alone, we can get it. So D and E can't be our answer, B can't be our answer. Now we have to check the second statement. Now it says Rahim takes 3 hours to reach point B from point A. Now, if you are only dealing with Rahim, so we will have speed of Rahim minus speed of the current. This is his effective speed, and he takes 3 hours to cover 30 kilometers. From here, we won't be able to figure out speed of Rahim because speed of current is not known. And of course, we cannot include the speed of speedboat because that's the part of the first statement. So from second, we are not going to get the answer. So statement 1 alone is sufficient. Okay, next. ABC is a triangle and the coordinates of A, B and C are A, B minus 2, C, A, B plus 4C and minus 2A, 3C respectively, where ABC are positive numbers. The area of the triangle ABC is what? Now, it's going to be very difficult if I use the area of a triangle when the coordinates are given using the determinant formula, right? It will be very difficult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume the values of A, B and C. Okay, so for A, B and C, let's assume the values. But if you look at the options, we need to have a scenario where the options, they differ. So if I take A as 1, B as 2 and C as 1, this is going to give me 6 into 2. This is going to give me 9 into 2. This is again going to give me 6 into 2. This is going to give me 9 into 1. What if I change C to 3? If I change C to 3, okay, let's do one thing. Let's take the calculation easier. If there is a contradiction, what we will do is we will verify it again. So if I take A1, B1, C1, so this is going to give me the coordinate 1, comma minus 1. This is going to give me the coordinate 1, comma 5, and this is going to give me the coordinate minus 1, comma 3. 1, 1 minus 2, minus 1, like this. Okay, so let's plot this. So the first point is 1, comma minus 1. So 1, comma minus 1 is going to be here. The next one is 1, comma 5. So 2, 3, 4, 5. The next coordinate is over here. The next one is minus 1, comma 3. So the next coordinate is over here. So we need to find the area of this particular triangle. Now, in order to calculate the area of this triangle, what I will assume is this is the base, right? So this is 5, right? This is 1, comma 5 and this is 1, comma minus 1. तो ये हमारा distance कितना हो जाएगा? This is 5 and minus 1. So can we say this distance is 6? So the base is 6. What about the height? So this coordinate is minus 1, comma 3. So can I say this is from minus 1 to 1, which is a height of 2? Right? Minus 1 to 1. So the area of this triangle is going to be half into 2 into 6, right? So this is going to give me 6. This is going to tell me that B and D is not going to be the answer. So it's going to be among A and C. Okay, now what can we do so that the two options, they differ? What if I take as A as 2, right? Now, if I take A as 2, I will have two different answers from alpha and Charlie. So the plotting would be, the points will become 2, comma minus 1, 2, comma 5, and this is going to give me minus 4, comma 3. So 2, comma minus 1, 2, comma 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2, comma minus 1, 2, comma 5, and minus 4, comma 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So minus 4, comma 3. Now we are pretty sure that the area of this triangle has just doubled, because you can see that the base has remained 6, but the height has just doubled. It is from minus 4 to 2, so the height has become 6, right? So it should be dependent on A. यही होना चाहिए ना? So this is 6 and this is minus 1 to 1. It should be dependent on A. So एक second, कहीं कुछ गड़बड़ हो रहा है क्या? The base has remained 6, the height has become 6. So that is 18. 18 तो मेरे को A और C से नहीं आ रहा. Right? I'm getting 12 and 6. Did I make a mistake here? This was minus 1, comma 3. Sorry, this is minus 2, comma 3. So this is 3. Sorry. This is 3. So this is going to give me 9. 9 means it's not going to be A or C. It's going to be either B or D. Now we can change it to A as 2. If I take A as 2, the area becomes half into 6 into 6, which becomes 18. And if I put A as 2, यही गलती कर दिया ना, मेरे को यहाँ पर A को चेंज नहीं करना चाहिए था. I should have changed B. I should have changed B to something. One silly mistake. Okay, so I'm solving the paper as if I'm seeing the question for the first time. So I don't have any memory solving this particular question. Okay, so just made a silly mistake here. So if I take A as 1, B as 2, and C as 1, now I will have two different answers, right? This is going to give me 18 and this is going to give me 9. So I have to choose कौन सा होने वाला है इसमें से. None of the above को आप लोग exact में generally ignore कर सकते हो. ठीक है? Generally, not all the time. Okay. So the coordinates are going to be 1 comma 0. The next one is going to be 1 comma b plus 4c. So this is going to be 6. The next one is going to be minus 2 comma 3. So minus 2 comma 3, I'll not draw the points, I'll simply write it. Next one is going to be 1 comma 0. So this is going to be 1 comma 0. Another is going to be 1 comma 6. So this is 1 comma 6. So this is the triangle that we are dealing with, where this is 1 comma 6, this is 1 comma 0. So the base is 6 and the height is 3. So we get half into 3 into 6, which is going to give me 9. So delta is our answer. One silly mistake and you spend twice the time. Okay, next. Separately, Jack and Srishti invested the same amount. I will answer your questions from the chat in some time, guys. Okay. So separately, Jack and Srishti invested the same amount of money in a stock market. Jack's investment amount kept getting reduced by 50% every month. It gets reduced by 50% every month. That means only 50% is left. Srishti's investment also reduced every month, but in an AP with a common difference of rupees 15,000. They both withdrew the respective amounts at the end of the 6 months. They observed that if they had withdrawn the respective amounts at the end of the 4th month, the ratio of their amounts would have been the same as the ratio after the 6th month. What amount of money was invested by Jack in the stock market? Since everything is in terms of fractions and percentage and 15,000 ka hai. So let's do one thing. Let's start with the options. We can use variables also, as in we can start with a power of 2 because it says 6 months. So 2 to the power 6, 64 rupees se bhi shuru kar sakte hain. The easiest value to work on with is this 1 lakh. So right now I'm going to ignore the 3 zeros to make the calculation easier, the expressions smaller. So suppose Jack and Srishti, they both had put in 100 rupees, right? Jack ka kya hota hai? Aadha hote jata hai. So this is initial. So what happens in the first year? 50 rupees. What happens in the second year? 25 rupees. What happens in the third year? Iska half. What happens in the fourth year? 6.25. What happens in the fifth year? Iska half. What happens in the sixth year? Iska half. So this is going to be 1.5625. 5 ka power chal raha hai. If I look at Srishti, her amount keeps getting reduced by 15. So this becomes 85, this becomes 70, next year it becomes 55, then it becomes 40, then it becomes 25, and then it becomes 10. So question ke according, so this is ek aur karna padega, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, ek aur karna padega, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. अच्छा नहीं हो चुका है. The ratio of the amount at the end of the 4th month, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. This ratio is same as the 6th month. This ratio, as in 6.25 upon 40 is same as 1.5625 upon 10. Is it? So let's do one thing. 6.25 को क्या 4 से divide कर देते हैं. Half of 6.25 is 3.125 and half of 3.125 is 1.5625. So this is going to give us 1.5625 and we will have a 10. So actually they are same. So the very first option makes sense. If this would have not made sense, suppose if the final ratio would have been larger, that means we did not reduce by much. So we need to increase it. So increase करके फिर 150 would have been the best option. Okay, the addition of 7 distinct positive integers, let's say A, B, C, D, E, F, and G is 1740. What is the largest possible GCD of these 7 distinct positive integers? Okay, so 1740 can be written as, this is 2 into 5, that will take care of the 0 at the end. Now we have 174, another 2. So that is going to give us 87, and 87 is nothing but 3 into 29. So this is the prime factorization of this. Now, since they are distinct, even if we take 7 distinct numbers, let's see कि कितना add होके बनता है, right? 1, 2, 3, and up to 7. If we add all of this, this is going to give us 7 into 8 upon 2. So this is going to give us 28. As in, in the best possible scenario, minimum में, this is going to be 28 into the GCD if I take out the common value. So 28 into GCD, 28 is, I mean, the max you can cancel out 28 is at 2, right? तो अगर ये 28 नहीं हो सकता best possible case, तो next highest number क्या हो सकता है? Because we can't get 28 from here. So can we say 29 is the best possible case we can have, that the sum of this is not 28 but let's say 29. Last number suppose 7 नहीं 8 था. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 8. So if this becomes 29, then if we compare, GCD is the remaining values product, which is 2 into 5 into 2 into 3, that is 60. So 60 is the largest possible value we can have. Now think, अगर ये 29 से बढ़ जाए, suppose ये 60 हो जाए, then the GCD will drop if you compare. Okay, next one. A small jar contained water, lime and sugar in the ratio 97:3. So we have small jar, we have got water, lime and sugar. This is 97:3. It's good that their sum is 100. A glass contains only water and sugar in it. Now the contents of both of them are mixed in a bigger jar, and the ratio of contents in the bigger jar are 85, 5 and 10. They have not simplified. Koi nahi. This is water, lime and sugar respectively. Find the percentage of water in the bigger jar. Bigger jar mein water percentage is 85 out of 100. A very trick question. Normally we are used to solving, mixing solutions or alloys by using alligation method. Average to hona hota hai na, ye to samajhte hain. So the question was not, had they not given us bigger jar ka concept, the ratio of the constituents, but that of glass, and then asked, then we would have to use alligation. Isme to nahi karna. The answer was straight in front of our eyes. It was right in front of our eyes. Okay, next. Given that x plus 3, x minus 2 and minus 2x minus 8, the maximum value of A is. So if you guys have done modulus, this can be represented like this. So what I did was I wrote this as 2 times x minus 4, or 2 times x minus 4 is x minus 4 and x minus 4. So this is how I broke it down. The number of mods with positive signs and the number of mods with negative sign are same. So whenever that happens, a graph like this is what you get. Okay. I don't care where x-axis is, नीचे भी हो सकता है, ऊपर भी हो सकता है. So let's say कि ये बीच में. This is where x-axis is. Y-axis, no, I don't care. So these 2 points are going to be the ones at the between. As in this is the value you are going to get at 2 and this is the value that you are going to get at 4. आपको maximum पूछा है, तो 4 put कर लो. So if I put 4 here, this is going to give me 7. And if this is going to give me 2 and this is going to give me nothing. So 9 is the maximum value, as in the height is maximum 9. So you get an S-shaped graph. This is how you solve mod. Okay. Next, suppose Haruka has a special key delta in her calculator called delta key, of course. Rule 1, if the display shows a 1-digit number, pressing delta key replaces the delta number with twice its value. So if you press delta, so x changes to 2x if it's a single-digit number. Rule 2, if the display shows a 2-digit number, so the 2-digit number, let's say it's xy, and when delta is xy is not x plus y, it's a 2-digit number. Displayed the number with the sum of the digits. So this is x plus y. Suppose Haruka enters the value 1. So this is what she enters and presses delta repeatedly. After the delta key is pressed for 68 times, what will be the displayed number? So we can't really press 68 times and do. So whenever such a thing happens, there has to be some recurring order, right? There has to be some pattern, some cyclic. So if this is 1 single digit number, so this will become 2. 2 ka double फिर से 4. 4 ka double 8. 8 ka double 16. Now when 16 appears and the delta key is pressed, sum of the digits will happen. So this will change to 7. 7 ka double 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 ka double 10. 10 ka sum 1. So there is a cycle. 1 comes in. So this is a cycle of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the cyclicity of 9. So after every 9th pressing, you will come back to 1. So 68 में से 9 का table 63 तक तो 1 ही आते रहेगा. That means we need to press 5 more times. When we press 5 more times, we will end up at 7. So 7 is going to be the answer. 5 students appeared for an exam. The average mark obtained by these 5 students is 40. That means the sum of the marks obtained by them is 200. The maximum mark of the exam is 100. So maximum marks is 100. And each of the students scored more than 10 marks. So 10 plus to sabke paas hoga hi hoga. 10 plus means 10 not allowed, more than 10 is allowed. However, none of them scored exactly 40. So somebody scored 39 maybe and somebody scored 41. But 40 किसी को नहीं आएगा. Based on the information given, which of the following must be true? At least 3 of them scored a maximum of 40 marks. हो सकता है. हो सकता है. We can't say it's definitely sure unless and until we do something about it. ठीक है. At least 3 of them scored more than 40 marks. This is also possible. Because if 3 of them scored a maximum of 40 marks, so they scored more than 40 marks. भी हो सकता है 41 पे भी. Maybe, don't know. At least one of them scored exactly 41. This is not true. I mean, this is not necessarily true. नहीं पता. At most 2 of them scored more than 40 marks. At most 2 of them. मतलब 2 ही हो सकता है. क्यों? We can have 3 also, no? At least one of them scored less than 40 marks. Obviously. If you want the average to be 40 and if 40 is not allowed, तो कुछ लोगों को 40 से कम आएगा और कुछ लोगों को 40 से ज़्यादा आएगा. How many people will get less than 40? At least एक तो होगा ना भाई. So एको. So you don't have to do any calculation if you actually go through all the options and read. 12th, the Goa club has won 40% of their football matches in the Apple Cup that they have played so far. If they play another n matches and win all of them, their winning percentage will improve to 50. Further, if they play 15 more matches and win all of them, their winning percentage will improve from 50 to 60. How many matches has the Goa club played in the Apple Cup so far? In the Apple Cup matches, there are only 2 possible outcomes, win or loss, draw is not possible. Okay. So, how many matches they have played so far? We don't know. Let's call that as M. And they have won 40% of their matches. If they play N more matches and win all of them, as in 100% is their winning percentage, then their winning percentage improves to 50. ठीक है. Allegation लगा रहे हैं. Further, if they play 15 more matches, 15 more means we already have M plus N, right? With a 50% aggregate so far. And 15 may they win all of them. So this is 100%. Their winning percentage will improve from 50 to 60. So this changes to 60% now. Now using allegation, we can say that this is 10 and this is 40. 10 and 40 ka ratio के according 15 and this will give us 60. Now that means the sum of these two is 60. Using allegation, we will get a 10 here and we will get a 50 here. We don't have to simplify because we know that the sum is 60 and we can see that the sum is 60. So how many matches the Goa club played in the Apple so far? So far का मतलब ये. So इसने कितने खेले? 50. So 2 times allegation and it's pretty simple. Okay. Trigonometry, IFT and XAT, very notorious. So isme, if you know trigonometry, then it is going to be easy for you. If you don't know trigonometry, it's going to be very difficult. Okay. And of course, if you know trigonometry, then it's very easy to understand that the 2 angles given to us throughout, their sum is 90. Okay. As in, I can change it to alpha and beta, alpha and beta, alpha and beta. Improvise kar liya. Such that alpha and beta sum is 90 degrees. So you can take any 2 angles, जिनका sum 90 होता है और इधर रख देने का. Same answer आएगा. More like a property here. So if I take alpha as 90 degree and beta is 0 degree, so these all cancel out. I will have sine 90 which is 1 by to the power 6 divided by 1 to the power 4. तो ये अपने को 1 दे देगा. अगर trigonometry आता है तो you know that this is going to happen. If you don't know trigonometry, and this is what you had to do, but then you had to know that sine 90 is 1 and sine 0 is 0. And also this sum was 90. That's the observation you had to make. Now, this is the question where you should have either marked none of the above or you are going to challenge this question, because this will never happen. The things that are given in the question, the conditions, the restrictions, you will never be able to figure out the maximum value of x minus y if x and y are integers. If they are fractions, तो infinity हो जाएगा. ठीक है? So x and y be two positive integers. ठीक है? इसको क्या करना था? All you had to do was open the brackets. Keep x square minus y square on one side and all the p wale components to the other side. Then x square minus y square can be written as x minus y into x plus y, and you can take out p from there and you can write this as x plus y. And एक काम करते हैं, मैं इसको अलग से 7p लिख देता हूँ. Now if I divide throughout by x plus y, I will have x minus y is equal to p plus 7p by x plus y. ये मिलेगा. Now remember, x plus y अगर even होगा तो x minus y भी even होगा. This is like obvious thing. And if x plus y is going to be odd, then x minus y is also going to be odd. So whatever x plus y is going to take, same value x minus y is also supposed to take. Now, p is a prime number, so either I can take p as 2, which is an even prime number, or I can take this as 3 or 5 or anything which are odd prime numbers. If I happen to take p as 2, then this is what I will have. अब क्या होगा ना, if you take x plus y as even और उधर रखो आप, तो overall value odd आ जाएगी. This is not possible because if x plus y is even, then how come x minus y is odd? And if you happen to take x plus y as odd, तो ये आपको even दे देगा. ये भी नहीं हो सकता. So 2 पे तो नहीं work कर रहा. Similarly, if you put 3, then you will always get odd is equal to even is equal to odd. यही चलते रहेगा. So you do a lot of hit and trial, you will realize that it never works out, right? Because it's a concept on odd and even. So obviously from the options, none of the above is the answer, right? But actually none of the above में भी ऐसा कोई exist ही नहीं करता है. तो इसको आपको challenge करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है? A non-flying ant wants to travel from the bottom corner to the diagonally opposite corner of your cubicle room. So you have a cubicle room. This side of the room is 2 meters and it wants to start from here and wants to go there. So this is the trajectory that it is going to follow, because it can't fly, so it can't straight away go via the longest diagonal, right? वो तो नहीं होने वाला. So draw a right angle triangle. Vertically the ant was here, it moved above. So vertically it moved 2. Horizontally along the edge it moved 2 and 2, which is 4. So the hypotenuse is going to give you the shortest distance, right? So this is going to give you 2 under root 5. 2 under root 5 is equal. Okay. A painter draws 64 equal squares of 1 square inch on a square canvas measuring 64 square inches. She chooses 2 squares, 1 square inch each, randomly, and then paints them. What is the probability that the 2 painted squares have a common side? So the denominator of this probability is going to be, we do have 64 squares, right? 64 में से कोई भी दो उठाने का. What is 64C2? 64C2 is 64 into 63 divided by 2. And how much is this going to be? So 64 into 64 is 4096 minus 64. So this is 4032. So this is 2016. So 2016 is what you're going to have in the denominator. Now 2016, can it come down to 108? I doubt. नहीं बनेगा. Can it become 97? 97 is a prime number. 2016 is not a prime number. It will not increase, of course. Can 2016 become 1 by 3? Now think about this. If you have a chessboard, this is a chessboard, right? And if you randomly choose two squares, 64C2, and if you take two squares such that they're adjacent, they may look like these squares like these, or maybe the squares like these. तो ऐसा करोगे अगर तो क्या you will get 1/3 of total? No, because if I choose one square तो उसके adjacent में I can have 2 or maybe 3 or maybe 4 such cases. But randomly if I choose, there are going to be a lot of different cases, right? तो वो तो 1/3 तो नहीं है. So looking at the denominator and realizing that A is the answer. But if we have to actually solve this, we will have to think the chessboard, and this is the square we are taking. Then the next square we can take is going to be the one next to it. The next one is going to be the one next to it. This will continue. So how many such squares we can have horizontally, which are consecutive, made up of two squares, not squares, rectangles we can have. So can we say we can have 7 such? 7 ऐसा होगा तो नीचे में इस तरह के कितने बनेंगे? 8. Same thing. Now if I choose rectangles of this format, this can go below 7 times and we will have 8 such scenarios. So 7 into 8 एक और मिलेगा. So we will have 7 into 8 into 2 here, which if you solve will get you back to 112, right? This is 56 into 2, 112. But the options were very far. So this, I will not consider this to be a probability question, which is tough. This is something that if you just realize the denominator and look at the options, you know what the answer is. Okay, next. We are given a relation between a term and the previous one for n is equal to 1 to 2009. A1 is given as 1. We need to find out A1, A2, A2, A3 ऐसे करके. ठीक है, चलो A1 अगर 1 हो गया तो अपना A2 कितना होगा? So A2 is going to be 1 by 1 plus 1 by 1. So this is going to be 1 by 1 plus 1 by 1. So this is going to be 1 by 2. Fine. What is A3 going to be? A3 is going to be 1 by 1 plus 1 by 1 by 2. So this will change to 2. This is going to be 1 by 3. What is A4 going to be? So A4 is going to be 1 whole divided by 1 plus 1 divided by 1 by 3. So 3 will go there and it will give you 1 by 4. So it makes sense. So this is 1 into 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 into 1 by 3 and 1 by 3 into 1 by 4, and this continues. If I go by the pattern, this is going to be 1 upon 2008 into 1 upon 2009. Now this is a question you guys must have done so many times, right? CAT का preparation कर रहे होगे अगर तो algebra में sequences and series, a miscellaneous type. This is a type of partial fraction scenario. First one you can write this as 1 minus 1 by 2, the next one as 1 by 2 minus 1 by 3, ऐसे चलते चला जाएगा. और last वाला you will have 1 by 2008 minus 1 by 2009. Everything cancels out except for the first and the last term. So you'll be left with 1 minus 1 upon 2009, which will give you 2008 upon 2009. Right. Next one, ABCD is a trapezoid. What is trapezoid? Trapezoid is just another name for trapezium. So where BC is parallel to AD and perpendicular to AB, and BC is smaller. Okay? So we have BC and this is perpendicular to AB, and since this is parallel, तो ये ऐसे बनाने का. Okay. This is D. P is a point on AD, says that CPD is an equilateral triangle. Okay, so this is an equilateral triangle. Q is a point on BC, says that AQ is parallel to PC. Okay, so we need a line parallel here. If the area of the triangle CPD is 4√3, find the area of triangle ABQ. Okay, so this is 60. So this is 60. So this is 30. This is 60. If I drop the perpendicular, this is 90. This is 30. So can we say that the area of the triangle that we have here, let's call this as R. So इस triangle के area जितना है वही copy paste है इधर. Same area. What will be the area of this particular triangle? It will be half of the total area. The total area is 4√3 ना, तो उसका half हो जाएगा. So the half is going to give us 2√3. Okay, there are 3 sections in a question paper and each section has 10 questions. Section 1, section 2 and section 3. There have 10 questions, 10 questions and 10 questions. First section has only multiple choice questions and 2 marks will be awarded for every correct answer, and for each wrong answer 0.5 marks will be deducted. Any unattempted question in this section will be treated as wrong answer. So wrong में भी half कम हो जाएगा और unattempted में भी half हो जाएगा. Great. Each question in the second question carries 3 marks, whereas each question in the third question carries 5 marks. For any wrong answer or unattempted question in the second and third sections, no marks are deducted. So ये अपन 0-0 होगा. A student score is the addition of marks obtained in all the 3 sections. What is the 6th highest possible score? The 6th highest possible score, can we say, is the 6th smallest reduction in the marks. So the smallest reduction तो 0 हो सकता है, सारे सही हो जाए. Then the next reduction can happen if somebody doesn't attempt one question or attempts it and makes it wrong, because पहला section में तो गलत करो या छोड़ो, मतलब punishment तो उतना ही मिलना है. So because if somebody leaves one, so 2 marks नहीं मिलेगा, plus half और कम हो जाएगा, तो 0.25 कम हो जाएगा. Sorry, as in 2.5 कम हो जाएगा. नेक्स्ट रिडक्शन कितना हो सकता है? अगर सेकंड सेक्शन से हटा दिया जाए तो 3 कम हो सकता है. नेक्स्ट 4 नहीं पॉसिबल, 5 पॉसिबल है, 3.5 नहीं पॉसिबल, 4.5 ना. सो नेक्स्ट पॉसिबिलिटी इज 5 कैन हैपन. सेक्शन 3 से 2 आप मत अटेम्प्ट करो या गलत कर दो, और सेक्शन 1 से 2 कर लो. सॉरी, सेक्शन 3 से 1 करो और सेक्शन 1 से 2 करो. सो इन आइदर केस देयर विल बी रिडक्शन ऑफ 5. सो 5 इज द नेक्स्ट रिडक्शन. Next reduction we can have is 5.5, right? 5.5 कैसे? एक सेक्शन 2 से और एक सेक्शन 1 से. -3 and -2.5, so -5.5. ये फर्स्ट स्टूडेंट का रिडक्शन, सेकेंड, थर्ड, फोर्थ, फिफ्थ, 6 स्टूडेंट का रिडक्शन इधर आने वाला है. द नेक्स्ट रिडक्शन वी कैन हैव इज 6 अगर सेकेंड सेक्शन के 2 अटेम्प्ट ही नहीं करें. सो 100 मार्क्स, राइट? 20, 30, 50. So 20 मार्क्स का पेपर है ये, 30 मार्क्स का पेपर है, 50 मार्क्स का पेपर है. 100 मार्क्स में से the 6th rank holder will have a reduction of 6 marks. So the 6th highest possible score is going to be 94. 28th, Rajneesh bought an item at 25% discount on the printed price. He sold it at 10% discount on the printed price. What is his profit in percentage? तो प्रिंटेड प्राइस को आप मान लो कि इसमें प्रिंट लिखा हुआ है 100 रुपीज का. सो ही बॉट एट 25% डिस्काउंट, सो ही बॉट इट एट 75 रुपीज. ही सोल्ड इट एट 10% डिस्काउंट, यानी कि 90 में सेल करा. सो व्हाट इज हिज प्रॉफिट परसेंटेज? सो देयर इज एन इंक्रीज ऑफ 15/75, which is 1/5, which is nothing but 20%. Next question, 21. Again, you guys can challenge this question, even though the best option to mark is echo. Okay, in case You don't have to worry कि challenge करे कि नहीं करे. A को अगर mark किया होगा तो आपको आ जाएगा. Because the question is wrong actually. ठीक है? Just like the previous question which I asked you to challenge, that is wrong. This question is also wrong. Why? So in a cricket match, 3 slip fielders are positioned on a straight line. So these are 3 slip fielders that are positioned on a straight line. थोड़ा और ऊपर draw करता हूँ. So 1, 2, 3. First, second, and third slip. The player X, who is not on the same line of slip fielders, throws a ball to third slip and takes 5 seconds. तो ये इधर से करता है. तो ये इनको थ्रो कर रहा है. ये 5 seconds लेता है. फर्स्ट एंड सेकेंड में 3 seconds and 4 seconds लेता है. Okay. Now see, when he's going to throw the ball, it would be at a constant speed, right? तीनों को बराबर के speed से. So when speed is constant, time and distance, they are directly proportional. तो अपन मान सकते हैं कि ये इनका distance है, 3s, 4s, 5s. चलेगा ना? S की जगह I am going to choose the number 3, 4, 5 itself. ठीक है? Bringing in more variable will make it difficult. Now, what is the... Okay, it's also given the distance between first and second slip holder, and second and third is same. So let's call them as D and D, right? What is the distance between second slip and the player X? ये 4 की जगह पे what number shall we put in? Now, of course, if you look at the statements, the ball travels at the speed of 3.6 km/h and it took 4 seconds. तो आपको क्या पता चलेगा कि distance कितना है? पता चल जाएगा ना? ठीक है. So पहले से आंसर लग रहा आ जाएगा. Second, the distance between first slip and third slip is 2 meters. First and third slip is 2 meters, so this is 1 meter, 1 meter. So using trigonometry या कुछ करके शायद इससे भी आ जाए, right? But the thing is, guys, कि if you look at this, this is a triangle where x2 is a median. I hope you guys will agree. A median is a line that divides the opposite side into, it bisects the opposite side. So median में एक formula नहीं, एक theorem लगता है which is known as Apollonius theorem, अगर आपको याद होगा. So Apollonius theorem के according, what happens is you can write 3x square plus 5x square is equal to 2 times median का square plus sum of the squares of the bisected segments. So this is going to be 25 plus 9, और अगर आप इसको करोगे 25 plus 9 and फिर उसमें से 16 into 2 32, so ये आपका दे देगा 2x square. This is equal to 2d square. That will give you x is equal to d. ठीक है? यानी कि d की जगह x लिख दो आप. That means this is a triangle whose one side is 3x, whose one side is 5x, and whose one side is 2x. ऐसा triangle exist करता है क्या? Don't you remember that from the general properties of triangle, we have this property that every side is less than the sum of the other two sides? तो ये तो बिल्कुल नहीं हो सकता. And this is in contradiction to what this says. The player X who is not on the same line. Same line होता तो मैं उसको straight line मान लेता. First slip, second slip, third slip. या फिर who is on the same line होता तब भी solvable था. अभी तो नहीं. Right? So please, once you get the window, please challenge this question. 22nd, Jose borrowed some money from his friend at a simple rate of 10% and invested the entire amount in stocks. At the end of the first year, he repaid 1/5 of the principal amount. At the end of the second year, he repaid half of the remaining principal amount. At the end of the third year, he repaid the entire remaining principal amount. At the end of the fourth year, he paid the last 3 years interest amount. As there was no principal amount left, his friend did not charge any interest in the fourth year. At the end of the 4th year, he sold out all his stocks. Later, he calculated that he gained rupees 97,500 after paying principal and interest amounts to his friend. If his invested amount in the stocks became double at the end of the 4th year, how much money did he borrow from his friend? So, see, this is a scenario, a typical XAT question, right? It's like a passage. मतलब इसको पढ़ने में by the time you reach the end, starting का सारा data भूल जाता है. So, कुछ कर नहीं सकते. So, Jose borrowed some money, so 100 rupees. Why am I assuming? Because everything is in terms of percentage and fraction and the magnitude is the end value. तो वो हम बाद में compare कर लेंगे. ठीक है? So, इतना लिया. And it is given that at the end of the 4th year, he sold all his stocks and he gained this much, right? If his invested amount in the stocks became double, so 100 rupees he took and he invested this and he got 200 rupees. This is from the stocks. But in the meantime, while that 100 rupees was in the stocks getting doubled in those 4 years, in the first year, ये क्या करता है पहले? At the end of the first year, he repaid 1/5 of the principal amount. 1/5 means 20 rupees he repays. Pay कर देता है. 80 rupees remaining रहता है. But in the first year, there is an interest of 10 rupees as well. वो interest नहीं pay करा, केवल principal pay करा. In the second year, he repaid half of the remaining principal amount. So 80 का half यानी 40 pay करा. But 80 का 10%, which is going to be 8, he did not pay. So these interests are being accumulated. Now, in the third year, so 40 बचा हुआ है. The entire principal is repaid. So पूरा 40 pay कर दिया वो. So पर ये 40 का 10% 4 rupees जो है वो अभी भी उसने pay नहीं करा. These interests he pays at the end of the 4th year. So 4th year में he repays 22 rupees. 10 plus 8 plus 4, 22. Now, if we look at how much money did he earn, so कितने पैसे उसने pay करने पड़े? He had to pay 122 and the money that he had overall was 200. So can we say he earned actually a total of 78 rupees? इतना earn हुआ होगा. But that earning is given as 97,500. So 78 represents 97,500. So what would 100 represent? 100 कितना होगा? So 97,500 into 100 upon 78. Now this year's XAT had some questions which are very calculative. मेरे को याद एक DI तो था जो बहुत गंदा था. ठीक है? Now, if we try to solve this, this is going to be 78 is, looking at the options, we are pretty sure कि वो divide होने वाला है, right? कितने times होने वाला है वो check करना है बस. So 78 is in the table of 26, है ना? So 26, नहीं 26 थोड़ी होगा, 13, sorry. It's in the table of 13. So 13, 6. 26 भी था. 26 into 3. So 13. So 13 से ये कितनी दफा चला जाएगा? So 13 into 6, 7, 91, 5, 7,500 into 100 by 6. Now what is 7,500 by 6? 125. So 125 and a 0. 750 by 6 is 125, right? So 125 and a lot of zeros. So D is our answer. Okay. Okay. Next one. The two DIs that we had, one DI was again wrong. So you can challenge it. Okay. The three graphs below capture relationship between economic and social activities and subjective well-being. The first graph captures relationship between GDP per capita and satisfaction with life across different countries and 4 islands, Gizor, Vienna, Nijhum, Dweep, and Chittagong. The graph 2 captures 3 different measures of subjective well-being. Subjective means you can't measure them with a formula of your own, as in you can't deduce that. You can only look at the values and compare. आप आगे का prediction नहीं कर सकते. So satisfaction with life, effect balance and momentary effect across the 4 islands which have different levels monetization index. The graph 3 captures levels of 13 different socio-economic activities across 4 islands. Now, once this particular question was taken as a screenshot and pasted, so it looks much better. ये फिर भी थोड़ा चलेगा. The next one now looks much better, and I can see that there were numbers as well. Did you guys happen to see any numbers? Because I was not solving question by question. What I did was I clicked on the question paper, क्योंकि question paper पूरा बड़ा खुलता है. उधर में जाके देखा, I never saw these points, and I never saw, I mean these wave diagram, they were also very skewed. They were not as good as when you take the screenshot. As in हमारा जो वो आया है ना, जो आंसर की आया है, not आंसर की, sorry, the आंसर शीट आया, उसमें काफी क्लियर है. एग्जाम में नहीं था. So that was very bad. But still, all the questions could have been answered. Okay, so this is the graph one. It's about GDP per capita, satisfaction with life, effect balance, momentary effect, index of monetization. ये सब कुछ है. सब गप है. If you try to read, in the graph, as in क्या लिखा हुआ है, what does it mean, it will make no sense. A typical XAT. DI. Which of the following best capture the relationship between GDP and life satisfaction of the countries? So GDP and life satisfaction, this will come from the first one. Excuse me. Now this is a graph. People who have done a bit of algebra will know it. It's none of these for sure. Now y is equal to E is just to make you uncomfortable. You can take this as A. Now y is equal to a to the power x means some value to the power something. This is a graph which grows very fast. This is known as exponential graph. While log x is something which grows like this. Slow grow karta hai. So this is the graph that we're dealing with. Right? So it is going to be Charlie. 24th, which of the following about the 4 islands can be best inferred from the graphs? Whenever the effect balance increases, satisfaction with life decreases. So whenever effect balance, okay, we are dealing with those graphs, effect balance increases. So we have effect balance whenever it changes, satisfaction with life decreases. So effect balance अगर increase हुआ है तो satisfaction with life decrease हुआ है. ऐसा हुआ है क्या? Whenever this has increased, the satisfaction with life has decreased. Has this happened? Well, it did happen here. ठीक है? ये नीचे चला गया है, but इधर नहीं गया. Right? Because if you calculate, if you assume this to be values and if you take the average, you'll find that the average is higher over here while it is somewhere over here. And it's actually very difficult. We don't know what those magnitudes are. We'll have to assume that every length, small length is 1 unit, तो उसके हिसाब से calculate करना होता. ठीक है? Second, whenever pleasant activities increase, now wherever pleasant activities increase, they increase. Satisfaction with life decreases. Satisfaction with life. Here it was given that life satisfaction and satisfaction with life, they are the same thing. Satisfaction with life decreases. Here pleasant activity has actually decreased and satisfaction with life has remained same. Pleasant activity is over here, satisfaction with life is over here. So देखा जाए तो satisfaction with life has almost been constant with an increase or decrease of pleasant activity. So this also did not make any sense. Whenever religion increases, satisfaction with life decreases. Whenever religion increases, so if you are dealing with religion here and life, religion and life, we just saw that life ka pleasant activities, life was like almost constant for all these 4, and it was very difficult in the exam to actually figure out कि ये बराबर ही है करीब करीब. They may not be exactly same, but they are very close to being on the same spot. They don't change. So रिलीजियन इंक्रीज करता है तो लाइफ डिक्रीज करता है. वी कांट फिगर इट आउट बिकॉज लाइफ का जो सेटिस्फैक्शन है दैट इज नेग्लिजिबल चेंज we can't figure it out, right? तो आप इसको भी ignore कर सकते हो. Whenever satisfaction with life increases, family also increase. So satisfaction with life वाले चीजों को तो हम कर ही नहीं सकते कुछ. Fifth, index of monetization varies maximum in that end dip. Index of monetization was here. This one, this graph. So it varies by the most. It does. ठीक है. इसको बॉक्स एंड विस्कर डायग्राम बोलते हैं. If you guys took our mocks, we did give you such questions related to box and whiskers of that. तो definitely जो द्वीप है इसका maximum variance है. Not, I should not use the variance. It varies by the most. So E becomes your answer. Okay, which of the following site has the highest fishing to economic ratio? Now, highest fishing to economic ratio, again, this was something which in the exam I was not able to figure out because it was very skewed. Abhi to circular dikh raha wave diagram. In the exam, it was actually elliptical. So, we are talking about fishing and economic ratio. Fishing and economic inka check karna hai, and we need the one with the highest. Now, this is something that we can figure out. Here, fishing is at the lower point, economic is the higher, so the ratio is less than 1. Fishing is lower, economic is higher, ratio is less than 1. Fishing is more, economic is small, this is greater than 1. Fishing is more, economic is less as compared to fishing, ye bhi 1 hai. So it's either Rovania or Dvip. Now, if you look at the segments of the web diagram, you will find that this and this is a smaller value. So, यहाँ पर क्या number लिखा है ये दिख भी नहीं रहा. Okay, so if I count this to be the center one as 0, and if I take this to be 1 and this to be 2, so we can say that this is a value that lies between 1 and 2 और अगला वाला 2 से ऊपर है. So numerator lies between 1 and 2 and denominator lies between 2 and 3. In the next one, they both lie between 2 and 3. बहुत closely observe करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है. अच्छा मैंने उल्टा लिख दिया. इधर पहले fishing लिखना है ना. So this is going to be 2 and 3 and this is economic was between 1 and 2. So obviously this is going to be the larger one. So Rovania is the answer. I made a mistake in the exam. I marked D as the option. Next one. Again, you can challenge this set. Okay? Go through the information given below and answer the 3 questions that follow. Everyone who is watching, please make sure that you like the video, right? And if you guys haven't subscribed, please make sure that you subscribe. I will answer everybody's queries from the chat. Just let me get done with this. The table captures age and gender distribution of COVID positive cases in a country. However, a part of data is missing, represented through unknown categories. This was the table, a very, very bad table. And the questions were also very weird. मतलब बहुत calculative. As in, if you give me even 30 minutes to solve this set, I'll be like, leave it. I'm not going to do it. Itna ganda set hai ye. So, see, if I take this as A, B, right? So, this is all, right? You all can. So, can I say sum of all this is 62434? Similarly, can I say sum of all this is 53825? That will give me the values of A and B. Now, total confirmed positive cases is this particular column. So, if all is this much, can I say it is the sum of these 3? So, 235 is equal to A plus B plus C. So, ab C nikal kar aa jayega. If I take this as unknown one, you will be able to calculate that. All you have to do is equate. Can you think kitna calculative hai? These are not even simple values, right? This is very bad. Very bad matlab exam mein to karne layak nahi hai na? So I'm talking about the values in the female plus male plus unknown will result in this. So that is going to give us all the values over here. Okay? Okay. Now, once you calculate all the values, आपका ये क्वेश्चन गलत हो जाता है. Because the value that you get in A over here is something that is way less than 100. वो 100 से भी कम है अगर आप उसको सॉल्व करोगे तो. As far as I remember, it was somewhere around 80s या 90s में ही था. ठीक है, the value here. So इसका आंसर नहीं हो सकता. Well, if you completely ignore by trying to figure out what values you are going to get and try to solve, I believe you will get answer as D. पर नहीं है वो, क्योंकि टोटल लोग 125 इधर है ही नहीं फीमेल, तो कैसे निकाल लोगे? Right? It's not even percentage that you can say ठीक है चलो यार 90% ले लो, नहीं, these are the actual values. So ये गड़बड़ कर देता है. ठीक है. 27th में in which age category the percentage of female COVID patients is the highest? Now this is again something जो कि solvable है पर बहुत calculative है. Now if you look at the female positive 0 to 18 वाला try करते हैं. ठीक है. Let's try to understand the question. So can we say the female positive is going to be 11147 upon 22362? But if these genders, unknown genders, are also female, so it could be also 11147 plus x1 divided by 22362. So you get a range. ये सबका कैलकुलेट करना था. ठीक है. अगर नहीं कैलकुलेट करना था, so if once you have figured out the data, you will realize that it was the best in the case of this particular year. If you don't want to calculate, because look at this. 1296, 1996. This is almost 2/3, right? You will not find 2/3 anywhere. ठीक है. हाफ के आसपास है, हाफ से थोड़ा सा ज्यादा है, 2/3 तो नहीं है कहीं पे भी. Okay, so 81 plus is what you are going to get the answer for this. Next one. Which of the following is true for unknown gender category? So unknown age group patients are less likely to provide information about gender than any other age category. Unknown age group. Okay, so they are talking about percentage terms, right? So percentage terms में this unknown category will either go to female or male. You will again get a range. Okay, and this was the lowest percentage that you were supposed to have. तो lowest percentage आने के कारण you cannot figure out कि actually ये आपको I mean it is giving enough information so that you can figure out about that unknown category. ठीक है. Unknown category as an unknown age group. Second वाला तो नहीं था. ठीक है. If you look at the values, you will realize second one नहीं है. Elderly category patients are more likely to give information about gender about gender than 0 to 18 age group. This also you will have to calculate the percentages and realize कि ये भी true है. So 1 and 3 turn out to be true. Very very calculative. मैंने इसको तो ऐसे बोल दिया कि calculate करना पड़ेगा, but can you think of the percentage ranges that we have to figure out for female category? एक तो जो given है उससे और एक unknown add करके, right? So very very bad question. Now I look into your queries. So the queries are, how much can the score vary based on the response sheet? Shruti, response sheet is actually what you used, so the scores are not going to vary. तो जो दिख आपने करा है मार्क उसके अकॉर्डिंग जो सही है जो गलत है you'll get your score. How much do you think the percentile changed this year? Devansh, I think overall the paper was considered as easier than last year. QA was definitely easier, and verbal में RC, the first section RC was considered as little difficult because fact-based RCs were not there. Sub poem और कुछ था. DM was relatively easier. So if one section is little tougher, another is easier. So overall there was not much change, right? Okay, when will the official answer key be out? So Tarun, we are expecting the answer key in the next max 48 hours. Will there be a similar session? Yes, Saheli, we will have. 58 is wrong. It needs to be 40. Bhargav, why is that so? because you are thinking you cannot go negative, is that the reason? वहां पर initial values are going to be positive integers. बीच में while calculating, if it turns out to be negative, nothing of that sort is mentioned. Because while playing the number game, we can't have a negative number. Why can't we have? बिल्कुल हो सकता है when you start with a positive number. Question did not mention that we can't have negative. Right, exactly, Vignesh. I got a call from IMALK, thanks to, oh, thank you, Vinayak. Thank you. The first line says it's a number, give positive and after subtracting also you get another number. Bhargav, it's perfectly fine to get any number. I believe if you go to Stack Overflow chale jao, theek hai, or go to Maths Exchange, the official places where the mathematicians and engineers and scientists sit down to discuss. If you go and check, number का मतलब negative भी होता है, ठीक है? It is completely based on this scenario. Okay, that's why in many cases they will write the word, you know, we are dealing with positive numbers. जब numbers positive ही होते हैं, 1 से शुरू होते हैं, तो why do we write positive numbers? और positive integers तो एक technically sound चीज हो गया. तो numbers में when they say positive values, तो you start with positive, but अगर number game है तो you can go negative. It's fine. It was not like picking matchsticks that you can't do. Had it been instead of numbers, they picked certain number of matchsticks, then doubled it, and then subtracted 20. In that case, when you subtract 20, you do not have those many matchsticks to subtract. फिर उसमें condition लगाना पड़ता. That 2s, I think, was the variable. 2s minus 20 should be greater than 0, greater than equal to 0, right? तब वो करना था. Okay. Good, Vinayak. 99.95 is very good. 18.35 marks in that will be how much percentile? Shubham, you will have to wait, okay? Because no matter how much you take the answer keys comparisons, there will be some ups and downs in the answer keys. तो official का आने का wait करो. I feel since it's a question of guessing number of a number, can assume the initial rules remain same throughout the question of width of it. हाँ Bhargav, let's hope it will clarify that. Okay. If you get, so you guys were discussing about colleges. DM answers are going to be very difficult to actually figure out which one is the correct one, which one is the wrong one. क्योंकि एग्जाम में भी ये सही लगता है और पता चलता कुछ और सही है, और अभी भी depending from person to person, it's going to be correct or wrong. ठीक है? So wait for the official one, whatever they say. Yes, I got it right. Max is 9. I got it 9, 7, 2, 4. So which choose options in attempts? It's E, so easy. Data interpretation का question गलत और कौन में 2 question. That's nice, Rishabh. Question 21 is challengeable. Sum of 2 sides can't be lesser than the third side. It's wrong. हाँ, बिल्कुल. In second question, log and y can't be the last digit 0, which makes the answer possibilities to 5. Vatsal, because it said that they are distinct positive. Those are distinct positive digits. Positive integers given था ना? मैं जो क्वेश्चन गलत है और जो हमने अटेम्प्ट किया उसके +1 मिलेंगे क्या? ऋषभ, they might completely discard that question. ठीक है? So the total score may be not calculated overall. So whichever questions were wrong, they are going to discard that. Same जैसे CAT में हुआ था. I attempted the wrong DI, remove question or give marks. They will remove the question, Rishabh. वो पूरा का पूरा गया. Marks नहीं देने वाले. Candle diagram, red Jaydev, that's also called candle diagram. Majorly box and whisker. Please do DM restaurant set as well, can't find it. Divyansh, that will happen. See, all the sets will happen. DI सबने नहीं करा है ना? DS भी सबने नहीं करा. We did all the entire section. So just wait, we will do all of that. Here, so since the question is wrong, will I get? No, Rishabh, I doubt that. Can you give an exam selection criteria visualize randomness? Divyansh, it's a very much safe score. Please everyone, make sure that you like तो केवल कर दो, please. Make sure that you like, and if you haven't subscribed. Mayank, वो वाला question, because it was only for that question, no? only for this particular question, so you can challenge this, the condition given doesn't match with whatever data you are supposed to get from here. ठीक है? अच्छा एक सेकेंड, that information is given here also, no? तो पूरा ही गलत हो गया. The entire set is wrong. Challenge entire set. See, if this information was only for this particular question, तो ये तो गलत था. But since it's a part of the main data set, तो ये contradictory है. Right? Whatever information you are going to get, as in whatever values you are going to get, is very contradictory to what they specify here in the table के beneath में. तो ये पूरा सेट गलत हो गया. तो पूरा सेट चैलेंज कर लेना एवरीवन. ठीक है? मेरे ख्याल से ये पूरा 3 क्वेश्चन इधर हो गया. एंड दे शुड हैव गिवन प्रॉपर लार्जर डायग्राम्स. इट वाज अ वेरी इजी सेट. मतलब क्या बोलूं, अब एग्जाम टाइम पे तो मूड खराब हो गया था. This particular question you can challenge. This is a wrong question. The info given is wrong. Options तो बात की बात है. The next question that was wrong was this one, the prime number and x and y. This question was not a wrong question. It's a trick. It was a tricky one. And fine. I don't think we have. नहीं, और किसी क्वेश्चन में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. ठीक है? So that's all from our side. Make sure that you press the bell icon and subscribe the channel, and please like the video. So if you are targeting for CAT 2023, and if you are, if you want to start your preparation as soon as possible so that the burden is less, you can join our CAT 2023 comprehensive program, wherein we provide you with tablet, more than 200 hours of live session, more than 350 hours of engaging videos. We provide you with more than 78 mocks, including CAT as well as non-CAT exams. We provide you with GDPI. We will help you with your GDPI and VAT preparation. We will provide you with books so that you can learn and practice offline. And you will be provided with the study notes and the faculty's handwritten notes, which are on the PDFs on your online account. And anyone who is struggling, preparing for CAT with your job or studies, please make sure that you join this session by Mr. Saral Nashir on 14th of Jan 2023 at 7 p.m. He's going to help you with your queries, and he's going to tell you how to manage, your job, CAT preparation, and if you're studying for let's say CFA exam, or if you're appearing for any other professional exam. So he's going to help you out with all of that. So one more, CMAT 2023 All India Open Mock is going to be there. It's going to start from 21st Jan until 29th Jan. It's a 9-day window. So everyone, please make sure that you join this, because all the All India Open Mock that we have provided you with, the questions have been almost kind of came repeated. Not all the questions, but there have been questions that have been repeated in the actual exam. Just a box and whisker plot wala question. To understand how can we say that it varies by the most ODI wala set, right? Then we had that cube wala question, right? All these questions we have been providing in the All India mocks, whether it was a CAT one, IFT, XAT. So this one is a CMAT one. So anyone who is targeting CMAT or is like not sure about your results in the other exams, जिसके result आ चुके हैं या आने वाले हैं, आप CMAT के लिए prepare करोगे, right? So this will help you with your real CMAT experience. You will be provided with video solutions by the expert faculty, or ज़्यादा प्रैक्टिस, ज़्यादा मॉक्स देने से थोड़ा सा स्ट्रेंथ्स एंड वीकनेस इन स्ट्रैटेजी थोड़ा प्रिपेयर हो जाता है, राइट? So please make sure that you register that. It's free. The link is given in the description below. And don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. You can join our Telegram channel, which is BYJU'S MBA Doubts. And you can download our app and watch hundreds of videos for free. Concept, questions, previous year papers, analysis, sub, free of cost on our app. The app link is also given in the description below. So thanks for joining, everyone. If the three questions are discarded, will the cutoff drop or increase? Himang, difficult question. Excuse me. I believe most of the students must have left that question. Anyone who is very good at maths must have definitely left that DI, क्योंकि वो कैलकुलेटिव था. जैसे मेरा मैथ ठीक है, मैंने उसको अटेम्प्ट करने की कोशिश करी, एकदम हालत नहीं थी. It was too difficult. As in, every time I was trying to solve something, I was too scared कि if I make a silly mistake at one place, because it was simple addition and subtraction, के लिए इतना था और परसेंटेज था बाद में, पर वो एक गलत करूंगा सारे कनेक्टेड थे. So I was like, let's leave it. So I believe most of the students will leave it. So I don't think the overall cutoff is going to drop or as it's going to decrease or increase. मेरे को लगता है जितना अभी चल रहा है, suppose if it is there that 38 is the good score, 38 will remain the good score, क्योंकि वो DI तो नहीं था करने लायक. ठीक है. Okay. So everyone who want to know about score versus percentile, please make sure that you watch our video wherein we had a proper discussion at what score will fetch you what percentile in XAT. So make sure that you go to our channel, go to that video, and when you're watching it, make sure that you like that video. अभी 2 दिन पहले ही आउट हुआ था मोइन, राहुल, और कौन कौन को क्वेश्चन है, दिस गाइस. ठीक है, चलो, थैंक यू.